Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a really handsome looking estate. This is a Honda Civic 1.6 SE Plus Navi model, 74,000 miles, wonderfully looked after car, really is. Front of the car, lights and lenses, new style front end, look absolutely fantastic, no cracks, no condensation in those at all. Bonnet's really clean, the odd tiny stone chip obviously, which you're going to get with any car that age and mileage, but they are few and far between. Near side panels absolutely smooth, near side front alloy pretty much unmarked there, and the panels on this side are absolutely wonderfully clean. Near side rear alloy again in absolutely beautiful condition. And coming around the back of the car, one of my favourite angles of the car, it's just one of those estates that looks absolutely superb as an estate. And then the offside, driver's side, again, lovely and smooth, and the panels, bumper corners all really clean. I'm doing this a bit quicker just because it's a little bit rainy and showery today. Alloy though, again, absolutely superb. And then finish off down the side, final alloy, absolutely beautiful condition. And externally it is in really lovely condition, this car. Coming to the boot area, massive boots, they are huge. Load liner fitted as well, with the little dividers that are fitted in, which means the carpeted areas underneath are virtually as new back there. Coming to the back of the car now, wide opening rear doors, all in absolutely lovely condition, which the video makes it look a little bit dull, but it isn't. It looks absolutely fantastic in here, and they are fully black, not grey. But lovely condition. Coming in on the passenger side, again, door cards all absolutely superb. Passenger seat in the front there looks as though it's in reality hardly ever been sat on. Finally come to the driver's door card, which again, absolutely super condition. Footwell areas again, all in lovely condition as well. And driver's seat, the one that should show all the way, shows absolutely nothing at all in reality. So inside the car now, engine's running through this section of the video as always. Dashboard looks absolutely as new, it really is in stunning condition. Sat nav, you can see they're working absolutely perfectly. But into reverse, get that lovely clear gridded parking camera, all working exactly as it should. Then come to the dashboard itself, you get that absolutely wonderful view, and that's where you should set your driving position. So steering wheel is just on top of the rev counter there and below the speedo, but it is in absolutely superb condition, as I said. Just come up here, quickly show you. Hopefully you can see 74,680 miles currently recorded, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic, and it's the 1.6 SE Plus Navi Tourer. Basically, it means it's got sat nav. This particular car is registered FX15OOB, and mileage at the start of the road test is 74,673 miles. The reason for doing all of our videos is very simple indeed. It's especially important for the road test section actually. It's to ensure that if anyone's looking online at any of our cars, they actually get to see the cars we're advertising in operation. And as I always say, it's because we've been to see cars which have looked perfectly good in a description, only to get there, drive it and find out it's got a fundamental issue, which obviously we, like you, would much rather have known about before setting off. So that's why we do it. We also do it on these very quiet country roads close to our premises. This actually forms part of the road test route that we take customers on, so hopefully then would be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the engine first, as you'd expect of a Honda, starts absolutely instantly and settles to a completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperatures running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car, and it's been running for quite some time now. These are brilliant engines. It's just a wonderful diesel engine in every way. It gives you all the things you want from a diesel. Economy, which comes very easily to the car, but it's not always the case with some cars, which you have to nurse them to get the fuel economy. Oops, daisy. Which we he'll be an argument. This one, you just drive it normally. You got a little rev prompter there. You got an econ button if you want to use it as well. But if you drive it using the torque of the engine, and I've owned numerous of these Taurus and Hatches using this engine, even doing relatively short trips, I was over 60 to the gallon, and on longer trips down to friends in Dorset, just going with the flow of the traffic and keeping to the sort of speed limits, but not trying overly hard. I could get 70 relatively easily, so it is a very, very good unit. Being a Honda, of course, they are wonderfully reliable engines, and very long lasting with just regular maintenance. But it's also a lovely engine to use day in, day out. Aside from idle and lower gears where it's a diesel, you can't get away from it. On the move, it's quiet, refined, and cruises absolutely almost silently. So it's a lovely unit. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch is perfect on the car, bite point exactly where it's meant to be. It's nice and smooth in operation. The gear change is absolutely fantastic on these cars. It's got it's like a meaty quality to the gear change. It feels like it's going straight into a box, which it isn't. It's going via a cable to the gearbox under the engine bay there, as most cars do these days, front wheel drive ones. But that also means that some manufacturers end up giving you kind of a lifeless, vague gear change. This is just so direct and satisfying to use, and that feels as it would have done when it was new. So it just shows zero wear, which is common. That's exactly what you'd expect of a Honda. Steering of the car, again, beautifully done. It tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, and it all feels as tight as a drum to drive. But it's a lovely power steering system. It's got a lovely weighting to it. When you come to corners like the one ahead, minimal movement of the steering wheel to get the car turning and moving. It's almost telepathic in the way it does it, and wonderfully precise and accurate. And it suits the chassis brilliantly, because the chassis got a real verve to it. You don't have to drive them like that, because they're a wonderfully comfortable and compliant car to drive. But if you are in the mood to sort of push on a bit, it's a really, really rewarding car to drive. And it's a lot of people who've gone from sort of sports cars to family cars, who just don't want to lose all the sportiness out of driving, love these cars, because it kind of gives you what you want from a family car without sacrificing everything. Spin around here. Unfortunately, I'm going to come out right behind him. What I'm also looking for, by the way, on road tests is any signs of any kind of noises coming from underneath the car that shouldn't actually be there, any sort of clonking or rattling noises, and there's nothing at all. This is absolutely as tight as a drum. I'm also going to give the brakes a bit of a shove. Basically, I'm not sure if his indicator's on, but I don't think he's turning left, so I'm not going to wait any longer. Just give him a good shove. But I know they're good because I pressed them earlier. But it's lovely, powerful brake pedal on the car. Gives it, there's no kind of pulsing or vibrations going back through the brake pedal, so all in fine order. Again, all these things are going to be checked by the MOT test station. They offer an independent MOT as part of the preparation of the car. Coming inside, not been cleaned yet, hardly needs it. It's in lovely condition in here. First and foremost, a wonderful interior that is quite beautifully built. No squeaks, no rattles. It's just solidly produced car. And this is the real test of a car years down the line with a few miles on the clock, and where other manufacturers that seem to be good, new, can kind of fall apart very quickly indeed, just creak and groan, especially estate cars where they lose a bit of rigidity. This is just fantastically solid. but also I just think this dashboard design is just fantastic, which I appreciate is personal taste, but you know, it's one I love, and fortunately a lot of my customers do as well, because it's not only interesting to look at, it works brilliantly. You've got this big screen sat-nav there, all functioning properly, a dual zone climate control system that offers you different temperatures side to side, blowing out absolutely ice cold air, by the way. And then this fantastic two-tier design. So basically the upper deck gives you all the information you want to look at on a very regular basis. So if you change things like your fan speed or radio, it comes up on the screen down here, but also much larger up there, so you're not having to look down into the bowels of the car. But the most commonly looked at one, of course, is your speed, and there it is directly in the line of sight, so you can look at it without taking your eyes off the road. It is absolutely, it's just genius, that design. And then below that, you've got this pod of 3 dials, big rev counter in the middle, flanked either side by temperature and fuel gauges. Lovely thick rim steering wheel, absolutely perfect diameter size, feels like new to hold. All the functions working exactly as it should. As I said at the start, I mean, it's only a brief video, but to, you know, as I said, feedback on any issues there might be, of which there are none at all. It drives absolutely beautifully, and we've been selling these cars for decades now, so we know the Hondas very, very well indeed. I could be driving one done 10,000 miles. That's how tight the car feels on the road. It genuinely does. It's not kind of salesman's license. That's the absolute truth. If you've got any questions, however, don't hesitate. Do give us a call.